Like somebody has to be the 1%, and that 1% can be you.
So nobody else can make you that person except yourself.
I'm gonna do what he did because that's how he made it. What he did won't work for me. If I'm gonna lose doing it my way.
The marathon is just about seeing long term, seeing a vision, understanding that nothing worthwhile happens overnight, and just sticking to your script long enough to make something real happen.
Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up.
What's up? What's up? It's game time. Welcome back to episode 5 of the Game Time podcast. If you're new to the Game Time community, we are more than just a clothing brand, but we are a gathering of people who are striving to reach their goals and inspiring each other to get to the end of their journeys and, reach their dreams and aspirations. I am Miles Wilson, CEO of Game Time Clothing, and to the right of me, I have Raven Lomax, my co-host for the podcast. Tell them a little bit about yourself.
So I'm Raven Lomax. Like Miles said, I help Miles out with GameTime a lot. I'm kind of like his second pair of eyes with everything. Kind of like that. I'm an artist, so I'm in school right now, just trying to perfect my craft, and figuring out what I want to do.
So yeah, getting into today's video is about finding your identity. Raven actually wrote the script for this podcast, so I'm gonna let you take the lead.
Okay. So, segment 1 is the quest for identity. So, I know a lot of people struggle with trying to figure out and find who they are. We go through so many different phases in our lives. Even something as simple as, listening to a certain type of music or dressing a certain way at one point in your life, and then that completely changing and altering is that journey that we're walking through, trying to figure out who we are and what our identity is. Okay, so the first question is, Miles, has there ever been a time where you felt like you struggled with trying to figure out who you are, who you want to be?
I'm gonna say I've always been pretty confident in who I am. Like as that goes for like my habits and my morals and whatnot. I've never been like the type to follow. I ain't gonna say follow the crowd, but do something because everybody else is doing it type. That's not just never been my vibe. Always if I'm doing something, it's because I genuinely want to do it. But as far as like finding what I want to do and like who I want to become, like who I want to impact, that's something that I feel as I'm like growing through now. Like, first starting off game time, it was like, all right, I want to do this to make money. Like, I just want to make money. But as I started to grow game time and see like the message that I could push to like actually have other people be motivated to go after whatever they want to go after, and also just be a light to like the other young African Americans in the area. They're like, it's more than just basketball out here. Like, if you really got a goal or a dream, if you put your head down and put the work in, that you can make something out of whatever you want to be. So that's just been what I've been working towards with now, with finding like what I want to do with you know with my work. Like, I obviously want to be successful, but what is successful? Like, that's kind of like the question. Like, successful being a millionaire, or successful being somebody who's touched a lot of lives and motivated other people to be X, Y, Z. So yeah, that was a little bit about me. But like for you, like what is your like identity story? Like, have you struggled with your identity, or like how have you been able to find yourself throughout the years, or how are you finding yourself at the moment?
So, how I define like identity is more like understanding who you are, having a self understanding and self awareness. Understanding, what makes you you and what makes you I don't know, what makes you want to go out in the world and not be afraid to show who you are. And I personally feel like I'm still working on a lot of stuff.
I don't know if they heard that. Somebody just screamed.
I feel like I'm still working on a lot of stuff, and I'm still trying to figure out who I am. However, I feel like I'm I've changed a lot. A lot of it is from me, more discovering my faith and knowing who I am as a Christian. But I've been through times where I didn't understand that this is who I wanted to be, or this is how I wanted to act, or even feeling influenced by other people, or feeling as though I had to act a certain way in front of other people or be a certain way in front of other people for them to like me or for them to want to be around me, or even to hold up an image that other people had of me. And I know now that I've like been through a lot of things and kind of get to the point where I am, that if you don't want to be a certain type of person, or you do want to be a certain type of person, nobody else can make you that person except yourself. Um, I've learned that I'm not supposed to define myself by the things that other people think that I am or want me to be, but what I want to be and what I think that I am. If that makes any sense.
I mean, that for sure makes sense, for sure. Because living in today's world, you see social media, and it's like all the cool kids are doing X, Y, Z. To be cool, I gotta do X, Y, Z. Which I mean, I might be lame. Y'all might think I'm lame, but I think I'm pretty cool, and I don't think I do. I'm not the stereotypical kid you see on social media, and I'm still cool.
Well, us speaking of that kind of moves us into segment two, which is embracing change. So, as I said, like, we as people, we change. We change over time. We're not always going to be the same people we were 2 years ago, maybe. And that's not a bad thing. But also embracing that change of being different than other people, even if that's not what the social norm seems like it's supposed to be. And embracing that change of being true to yourself, even if it's not looking like that's what everybody else wants you to do. Because that's hard. It's hard to just change how you act and who you are in front of people.
And being like strong in your being strong in your identity.
Like not feeling ashamed of it, or not kind of wavering a little bit and trying to poke and see like if this is okay, to see if they're like other people are cool with it, or just anything, like just anything. But it's like accepting that like this is who you are, and regardless if people do or don't like it, like that's just me.
The people who really rock with you, the people who really love you, is gonna be there. Like they're gonna love you for you. Like you don't have to play a front or act like something you're not. Like that's why like my circle, my boy Sag E, my family, like I've always been able to be myself and know it's gonna be 100% love from all of them. Like that's why my circle is the way it is, because I'm able to be me, and they know me, and they know who I want to be and where I want to go and things of that nature. So just once you're yourself, you'll find other people not even like you, but people who love you for being you, and that's when you really get to like strive and just be. You really get security in who you are, and you don't feel like you're wavering and stuff like that. And once you're secure in who you are, you get to like you're more secure in your actions and your movements. Like one thing, my dad probably gonna watch this. One thing my dad like really like says a lot, and I feel like I need to really like get in it. It's like if I'm in any type of scenario or any type of like I don't know how to explain it, but like if I'm gonna like mess up, if I'm gonna lose doing it my way. Like I'm gonna go out the way I want to go out. I'm not gonna fail because I decided to go with how somebody else wanted to do it, or not be strong enough in who I am to be like, nah, this ain't it. This is not how we gonna shoot it. That's what it was. It was the freaking when the when the news came to like record us, and they was kind of like directing everything. It's like, nah, you got to be the director. You got to call the shot. So like, I know that's like a specific example, but like, I need to be able to take that mentality into everything I do, projects, experiments. Just like this is how it's gonna go. It's gonna go my way. If it goes wrong, I'm cool with it going wrong, but at least I know I did it my way. I'm not gonna lose off another man's decision. So that's just another thing that I think being strong in who you are and your identity and your thoughts can really help you really strong in your decisions and not waver in decision making and things like that.
Yeah, 100%. And kind of going back to what we said earlier about other people's images of you, don't be afraid to you feel yourself leaning more towards something else or wanting to do something different or feeling yourself, you know, finding other things interesting or, find yourself making decisions differently, don't be afraid to 100 don't be afraid to fully accept those changes and fully accept those decisions and stuff that you want to make because you're so afraid of how other people are going to react. Because like
Mm,
Miles was saying, it's you. This is your life.
your life.
The decisions and stuff you make are not going to affect anybody else at the end of the day but you.
That's,
Um,
that's a good one.
you are, at the end of the day, you are the only person that can truly make yourself happy because you make the decisions on what you want to do, who you want to be around, and don't allow other people to change and manipulate your own views of yourself because they're not you. So don't be afraid for those changes. Embrace them fully. Don't allow other people's images and views of you to hold you back or hold you down from flourishing into the person that you truly want to be.
Mm. Like this, I ain't gonna say this podcast, but like, I don't know. I was extremely nervous about doing this podcast. Like the first podcast was supposed to drop, bro. When I tell you, I was so close to just deleting the joint so many times because I don't know. I feel like this is a different view of me that I don't really like. I don't really just sit and talk to everybody like that. Like I do it not one on one, but I do it like in the comfort of my home and my people's. But I don't really just like. I don't want to come off as like a preacher or like I know everything that's going on. So I don't like that's not never been me. But just talking about it like I'm not perfect. I'm just trying to get. I just want to give. I just want to be a voice that people could go to and hopefully one day I make it and I'm able to document my thought process and some of my motivational so that the next generation, the next Miles happens to have somebody to be like, oh yeah, this is dope, and just follow that way. So being able to be strong in your identity and being able to embrace changes and like put out something different, but that you still feel like it's you, it's a big step you should be able to take and have the confidence to take.
100%.
So getting into segment 3 is our biblical applications, bringing God into these podcasts because without God, we would be nowhere on this journey. The verse we picked out today comes from Psalms chapter 139, verse 14. It says, I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. What? I know that a lot. I know that for sure. That's what that says. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful, and I know that for sure. That's what it means in 2023
Basically.
translation. When I read that, right, it gives you it gives me confidence in who I am. Like I'm wonderfully made. God took His time and crafted me to be who I am, and I need to, uplift God and be confident and trusting in God that, He made me on purpose. He made me the way I'm supposed to be. So I'm gonna do my best in being grateful for God and trusting in God and just, not putting it on a front for others to, fit in with them because God didn't make me like that. And not to say that, others is bad. Like just because something is different from you doesn't mean it's wrong or not right. It's just different. Like a whole lot of my people in the same circle, we're all different in other ways. And we don't try to conform to all be the exact copy and paste of each other. We just play off of each other's strengths. Like,
Okay, well, me and Miles both have experience with feeling out of place in the past. And, don't, I guess the short way of saying is like, we don't need 1,000 of these type of people, or 1,000 of these type of people. We need a Miles and we need a Raven, and that's okay because we fit in where we are supposed to, and we do what we need to do, because of what we can bring to the table. Just don't be so busy with trying to bring the same thing to the table as somebody else that you aren't able to put in what you're able to produce, because that's not what you're supposed to do. If somebody else is doing this, that's what they're supposed to be doing. Don't do what you need to do. So don't be afraid to be who you are, and You don't feel like you have to do the same thing as everybody else to fit in or be liked or you know be respected because the people who truly respect you at the end of the day will still be cool with you and still have respect for you even when you're doing things that might not be the same as them or similar to them. And also by sticking true to yourself and understanding who you are and understanding your understanding yourself and being self-aware, you can get more done. If you're so busy worrying about everybody else's ideas and what everybody else is trying to do, you'll never understand what you want to do. And let's say like you're someone like Miles who wants to run a business or something, even though Miles makes sure that he takes the likes and he takes the interest of his customers and who he's making the clothes for into mind, you can still see who Miles is represented through what he sells. So, make sure.
I'm gonna go off of that with the GameTime thing, right? World of Vision. I don't know if anybody knows about World of Vision. World of Vision is like another like black brand created by two black not boy, they grown now, but like I like started into it, and even now, and I always look to them like I should do them. I should copy and paste their designs. Like I need to be them. But as I'm finding not only my identity but my brand's identity, I'm like, there's already a World of Vision. We don't need two World of Visions. So I'm gonna focus on me. I'm for sure gonna take inspiration from them, and continue to look up to them, see how they grew through their journey. But I'm gonna do it my way. I'm gonna do it my own way. So where GameTime is not, GameTime is GameTime. It's its own thing, has its own identity, and it's strong in that. And the people who support GameTime, love GameTime, it's just a nice, loving community of people. But yeah, that's just kind of just another way to think of it. And to further go on that, like the whole like focus on you part, it's like if I'm so busy focused on World of Vision or other people, like they're on different paths than I am. So like I can't get caught up on acting like them and doing what they're doing because they're on a totally different path than what I'm on. So I need to focus on, what's in my path, the boulders, the challenges, the things that I need to accomplish so that I can succeed to where I'm going.
100%.
Because if I'm like, I'm gonna do what he did because that's how he made it, what he did won't work for me. It might work to get you over like one or two, but I'm gonna have to figure it out on myself and for myself and do it my way, which is just, once again, being strong in your identity and, finding who you are, knowing who you are, and boogity woogity.
Just don't forget that God has a plan for everybody, and He'll lead you the way that He needs to, because He knows what He has in store for you, and He knows who you are. So if you're ever in doubt or you're ever, questioning who you are, what you're supposed to be doing, you can always look to God, pray about it, and He'll always give you the answer and guide you in the right direction.
Segment 4 is overcoming identity challenges. So for a lot of us, we keep on saying being strong to who you are and knowing who you are and focusing on who you are. But a big question for a lot of us is, who are we? Like, who do we stand for? Who do we want to be? How do we want people to receive us and perceive us? Perceive us? I don't know. How people want us to look at us and things of that nature. So for like, I ain't gonna say for further applications or like what you could do after this podcast to apply these things is find out who you are. Like, not what you want to do or how much money you want to make or all that external things. Find what genuinely makes you happy and how you want to impact the world. If you want to motivate others, or if you want to be a helping hand to others, if you just want to be nice to others, like whatever you want to do, find what that is first, and then you could branch off. I like being a model for those who
an
inspiration for those who come from the same area that I come from, or it's like going against the odds. Like for those people who feel like they're against the odds and it's not likely for them to be successful, I want to be that 1% that makes it, so that to show like somebody has to be the 1%, and that 1% can be you. So I want to prove by my actions, through my actions, by trying to be that 1% in everything I do, that you can also do it as well. So that's like like where I'm at right now in myself is what I'm trying to strive to become. So for you, I don't know what that is. It could be it could be you could think what I'm saying is stupid and you don't ever want to, but you just gotta find out what works for you and who you are so that you can go 110% with it.
Yeah, one of my biggest things I would probably say is trying new things and being open-minded. One of the ways I figured out things that I wanted to do, one of the reasons why, I'm in school, I go to VCU for art, and the only reason why I even figured out that that's what I wanted to do and that's what I was interested in is because I did not stick to what everybody else wanted me to do. It was my freshman year and I was in a Spanish class. I had been taking Spanish throughout middle school, but the Spanish class I was taking had high school credits, so it was my last Spanish class, and I could have either kept going, past how many credits I needed for a foreign language, or I could have stopped. And for a while, and I didn't like Spanish. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It was for me. It was difficult. I didn't like it. It just wasn't for me. I felt so. I could have continued to do it anyway because I felt like that's what everybody
Mm,
else wanted me to do. And I could have continued to do something that I didn't like and that I didn't favor just to make everybody else happy and make everybody else think that I was this academic weapon. Or I could have dropped the class and found something else to do. And even though it was really hard to
mm,
make the decision, I ultimately dropped the class. Um, Regardless of what everybody else was going to think or regardless of everybody else was going to say. And that's how I ended up joining an art class. And once I started doing art, that's how I really knew that that's what I wanted to do. And I ended up discovering that, art was always something I liked to do, but I didn't really realize how good I was at it until I actually was able to try something new and go into that. So I guess, not being afraid to try something new, not being afraid to go against what other people are thinking or saying, if that's not what you want to do or if it is what you want to do. Being open minded.
mm.
You don't have to be that person who graduates with however many credits and however many years of foreign languages. That's not what you want to do. At first, that's what I thought I wanted to do, and it wasn't. That's what I thought everybody else wanted me to do, so I thought I wanted to do it as well, and it was not. That wasn't me. So now I know I'm an artist, and I found that out by, going forward and being open minded and trying new things, regardless of what I thought everybody else thought of me.
And I wanna like get deeper in that joint. Like God will give you what your heart desires or something like that. And a lot of times, like we desire something already. So if we hear God gives us our desires, and then God doesn't give us what we want, it's like, cool, that's a lot.
Whew.
But really, like He will. I'm gonna just break it down. How I'm trying to break it down. I from like what kindergarten, what probably like 10th, ninth grade, I was going to league. Like that was my identity. That's what I was going to do. Period. That's what my heart told me to do. Like there was nothing else I wanted to do more than that. And I remember even in the 7th grade, my mom was like, yeah, I know you want to go to the league, but you need to have a backup plan to something else you want to do. And I busted out crying. Like I was tears. Like what? You don't believe I'm gonna make it to the league? Like well, mama, I need a backup plan. I'm made it to the league. That's all I'm gonna do. So then, and like everybody in the house, like, why would you tell that boy that he not going to the league? But really, she was just trying to, look out. And then I got to the point where I'm playing basketball. And I'm like, there's there's more to life than just basketball. Like, it's a whole different, not different, but it's just a whole other world out there that I can capitalize on. That's more than basketball. A lot of people use the analogy like the ball is eventually gonna go flat and the ball gonna stop bouncing, and what you gonna have then? So like God gave me, God allowed me to still, play basketball, love basketball, and play it throughout my high school year. But He introduced to me like engineering, which is like as a 6th, 7th, 8th grader, like you hear engineering, it's like what the world? That's not me. But He gave me Mr. Carter. Shout out to Mr. Carter, one of the greatest engineering teachers I had. He gave me a love for engineering, and I did not know that. Like you just gotta be open to Him and be willing to like willing to change and willing to try new things. So where it's like now I'm like I want to be an engineer. I like building stuff and it's fun, robotics, and I'm the only black kid in my engineering class. So I'm still beating the odds and being a light for us African Americans going into these fields where we're not the main person. So that's just another like personal testimony I got of trusting God and trusting that trusting that He will help you find you and He will keep you on the path that you need to get on. Even if at first you like, I'm going right. Like I'm going to the league, period. Nothing else. That's what my heart desires. Nothing else. My mama said you might need to try something else. I'm crying. No, this is what my heart desires. But God was able to shift my heart. Like, nah, bro, this is you too. And He didn't even have to take basketball away for that. Like He was like, you still gonna be. Miles wasn't good at basketball. He played a year. What else I do? Yeah. Shout out Coach Hardy and all them. But yeah, you still gonna be good at basketball. But this is what I ain't gonna say I'm calling you to do. But this is another path that I want you to go down on. So yeah, that's just how I was able to find what I want to do career wise and X Y Z.
Yeah. And you're not always gonna know. You're not always gonna make the right decisions. You're not always gonna know what decisions to make, and you're not always gonna know
what's the right decision, like if I should drop it or not. Like
yeah.
I was playing like 3 sports in middle school.
Oh yeah.
Right? I was playing 3 sports in middle school. And I'm like, I don't want to do track and cross country no more. Like, I'm just running. Like, that's not fun. The only reason why I'm doing it is because everybody's telling me I should do it, and I was good at it. But I made the tough decision of not doing it and trying out new stuff, and it gave me the opportunity to find, engineering and other things that I'm actually interested in doing.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't be scared to shut one door to open another.
Yeah.
That's our bar. Okay.
But no, actually, speaking of Leah, shout out to my little sister Leah.
We can say it out.
Yeah, she plays multiple sports, and she's only in middle school, so she's still trying to figure out what she wants to do, what she wants to keep going with, and I feel like she's doing a great job of voicing like, this is what I want to keep doing, this is not what I want to keep doing, regardless of what other people think. So and she's young. So some people have it figured out. She doesn't mean she has everything figured out, but she's already starting off strong with knowing like, if this is not what I want to do, I'm gonna say this is not what I want to do, and I'm gonna stop. So don't be afraid to do that, because like I said, it's your life, it's your decisions. If you keep on allowing other people to make decisions for you, regardless if you agree with them or don't agree with them, you're not gonna be happy.
Because you're gonna be the one who has to live with that decision. If everybody wants you to run a marathon, you the one that's running the marathon.
Right.
Like, you the person who has to say, yes, I'm running the marathon now. So that's just, something else that's what really helps me, like, I ain't gonna say block out other people, but value my opinion in it, because I'm the one making the commitment to all this work in XYZ. And if I don't want to do this work, if I'm doing this work to satisfy other people and not myself, then I probably shouldn't be doing this work. But it is what it is. You live and you learn. And yeah.
Yeah.
Does that wrap it all up?
That wraps it all up.
That wraps up episode 5 of the GameTime podcast. I hope today you got some good tips about finding yourself and being true to yourself in all circumstances and all scenarios, and knowing that you're wonderfully made. Like, you are who you're supposed to be. We need you, specifically you in this world, to strive and be great in whatever you are supposed to do. Because if we have a whole bunch of the same thing, you become less valuable, and you're valuable the way you are. So be you. So yeah, that was tough. That was So yeah, thank you for tuning in to another Game Time episode. As always, hit the subscribe button. We pumping out these podcasts every Monday, man. We trying to be consistent. Shout out the website GameTimeClothing.net. If you haven't, go support that. And yeah, and as always, there's never a better time to start than right now. Yo.